Hello everyone, we are on week 5 of our CSA shares. For those doing a half share, it's an A week. We have a lot of greens this week. I will go over what we received in our shares, how to store each item, and then give you ideas on what to use them for. Okay, so first up we have our head lettuce. We've had this just about every week. You want to store this in a plastic bag in the fridge, unwashed. Once you wash it, if you do wash the whole head or wash pieces of the lettuce that do not get used, you want to store it in a plastic bag with paper towels so the paper towels absorb the moisture and your leaves stay nice and crisp. So that's in the fridge in a plastic bag. Obviously great for lettuce, for salads, but also good for burgers, lettuce wraps. The leaves are really big, so really good for lettuce wraps as a side on tacos, things like that. So we also have our half-pound bag of salad greens, best stored unwashed in the fridge. Great for salads, obviously. You want to keep this unwashed. If you do wash it, same as the head lettuce, we want to put it in a plastic bag with paper towels so that the paper towels absorb the moisture and your leaves don't get all yucky. So in the fridge on that one. We also have kale. We received this last week as well. Kale we want to store, you can take the band off, and we want to store this in a plastic bag in the fridge. I've been using the Debbie Meyer green bags. They work great. I don't seal them. I just kind of put them in and put the greens in and let them sit in my fridge, and they've been making the greens last a lot longer than they have in the past. The recipe this week will showcase this whole bunch of kale. So if you have kale left over from last week, you can use that up and save this for a different recipe. So the recipe will be posted on Thursday. It will showcase the kale, some garlic scapes, and some scallions. Other than the recipe this week, kale good sauteed, good in salads, kale chips. What else? We love it in salad and then just sauteed. You can also put it in smoothies. You can cook it and throw it in a frittata or an omelet. So dandelion greens. Dandelion greens are a little bit bitter than our other greens, are a little bit more bitter than our other greens. Take off the band, throw it in a bag, store it in the fridge. If you want to take out some of the bitterness, you can wash this whole bunch and then soak it in salt water for about 10 minutes. If you soak it in the salt water prior to cooking it or using it, it will take some of that bitterness away. I've been seeing a lot of people doing the dandelion pesto. So there's a recipe on our blog for dandelion pesto. There's also a recipe for dandelion greens and bacon, I think, up there. So we've linked those recipes a couple times. So if you're not sure what to do with these, jump on the blog and there's lots of fun recipes. Store it in the fridge, unwashed preferably. If we want to take out the bitterness, we're going to soak it in salt water for like 10 minutes. And then rinse off after that, obviously. Let's see, fennel. So our fennel bulbs, at least mine this week, are a lot larger. We're not going to, I think fennel, this is about the last week for the spring fennel, our early summer fennel. We want to store the bottom bulb separate from the top. So all of it's edible. The bottom bulb, we want to cut these off and store the bulbs in a plastic bag in the fridge. Great sauteed, great grilled. You can eat them raw. You can juice them. So I like to juice the tops along with some other greens like kale and things like that. What else do I use this for? You can braise them. I've been caramelizing the bottoms, the bulbs, and they've been really yummy. It totally changes the flavor. The tops. So the tops, you can use this part as like a garnish. So kind of like you would an herb. The stalks are also edible, the stems are also edible. So I usually just cut those off and store this whole part in a plastic bag, and then store the bulbs together in another plastic bag, all in the fridge. Okay, so that's fennel. We also received broccoli. So your broccoli could be green this week or purple. The purple broccoli, when cooked, turns green. It's delicious steamed. You can eat it raw. You can blanch it and make a salad out of it. We actually grilled ours this week from the one from last week. I just took and chopped up the broccoli and added some garlic scapes, and then used a cast iron pan on the grill, and it came out really yummy. I think I seasoned it with salt and pepper, just kept it really simple. So these get stored in the fridge in a plastic bag. Can be eaten raw or cooked. Scallions. So our scallions are pretty large this week. We want to store them in a plastic bag in the fridge or in a glass of water. I prefer the plastic bag in the fridge. These are big, so the ends are going to stick out. You might want to cut them and then store both sections in the plastic bag in the fridge. So these are great as a garnish. You can actually, if you want to, so I still have some left from last week, so I'm going to preserve these. You can take them and chop them up and dehydrate them. And then I save them for later. Also great in soups, great as a garnish on salads. These will be showcased in our recipe for this week. So scallions, garlic scapes, and kale. All right, couple more items. Cabbage. So our cabbage can be stored just like this in the fridge. Once you cut it, you're gonna wanna put it in a plastic bag, just because then over time, like mine from last week, I had to pull off the outside leaves just to get a nice head, because they kind of wilted and browned a little bit. Great raw, great in sauerkraut. Mine is obviously still filled with water. You can slice it into like steaks, into slices, and grill it on both sides. That's really good. We've got slaws. We've got, I don't know what else. You can actually do cabbage rolls. So you can do like a stuffed cabbage, or use it like quick, blanch it and then use it as a wrap. Or you can use it raw as a wrap as well. Okay. Basil. So Trisha did a post on basil this week. So basil's a little bit different from our other herbs. We want basil to be on the counter. It doesn't like the cold, so we want to keep it room temperature. So I like to cut the band off and then put it right into a glass of water. I usually trim the ends, cut the band off, and then put it right into a glass of water on the counter. And then use leaves as you need. We've been seeing a lot of pesto recipes, great in salad dressings. So I love to throw a few leaves in my vinaigrette dressing. What else? Caprese salads. You could do, like if you're doing a grilled cheese, you could throw a few basil leaves on there. There's a different flavor. You can obviously make pesto. We get a huge bunch, so it's good to preserve it. So if you're making pesto, make a big, huge batch of it and then freeze some for when we don't have basil anymore. Garlic scapes. So garlic scapes we want to store in the fridge in a plastic bag. These are the tops of the garlic. So the farmers chop these off so that the plant focuses its energy on the garlic bulb. So it's a benefit to us because we get to eat these. They are great grilled. They're great raw. You can chop them up and throw them on a salad, or just eat them raw on a dish. I like to incorporate them into pestos, so there'll be a few of these used in this week's recipe. And then I just like to use, like, they're milder than garlic, the bulb over the garlic, so I like to use these in place of garlic in any recipe. I just tend to use more. Okay, and then our last item, Last week we got one summer squash. This week we're getting a couple more. So we will see these around for a few weeks. Great grilled, so we can slice them, grill them. I usually slice them long and lay them on the grill. These will be showcased in next week's recipe, along with some new items that we're getting next week. What else do I love to noodle these, so turning them into noodles. If anyone has a spiralizer, these are great as noodles. You can leave the noodles raw, or you can do a quick blanch and then they are like a spaghetti. So both the yellow squash and the zucchini work well like that. Okay, that is it. Stay tuned for the recipe on Thursday that will be posted. For next week, the unboxing will actually take place on Thursday. I'm actually going on vacation tomorrow until next Wednesday, so we're just pushing back the unboxing to Thursday. So I'll post again to remind everyone next week. So unboxing next Thursday, recipe post this Thursday. And then if you have any questions, comments, things you haven't used up that you want ideas for how to use them up, please post, especially in the Facebook group, or you can comment on this video and we will guide and help you. All right, thank you.